Florida. Paul, you're up.
Oh, Lisa, first I just want to say my aunt is my favorite person in the world. So your story resonated. Thank you so much for your time and vulnerability. You talked a lot about being kind of a trailblazer in spaces where there was really kind of nobody that you could kind of look to what you wanted to achieve. I'm curious for you, what impact has intuition had on your ascent to kind of where you are? And do you have kind of like a story or experience that really stands out? Because I think for a lot of us, sometimes it's hard to spot intuition. And yeah, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for the question, Paul. We are in an environment where, and I completely believe in this, so please don't misunderstand my comments. We are in an environment where everything is an algorithm. Everything is based on data, numbers. So many decisions are now based on, well, what does the data say? What does the data say? And sometimes, I believe everything is art and science. And I believe that there's not enough value put on instinct, because there are things. I use an example in my book about Edge and when we were coming out with Edge and how we were pricing Edge. And Edge was Celebrity Edge, which is a series of ships that I had the responsibility of designing from the time I came in my president and CEO role. I looked at this series of ships as this was critical for Celebrity because it was going to make or break the brand. If we didn't really win with this series of ships, the brand was just going to languish in kind of this, space forever. So I knew these ships really had to be special. So, the Edge of Glory is chapter 6, and it's all about Celebrity Edge and what we did. But one of the things that we did was we embargoed press before we announced it. And I can't believe how secret we kept everything we were doing on this ship, which is really important in our business because you want to come out with a big bang. And I embargoed press, and I personally presented the ship and all the aspects of it to them myself. And this is a jaded press. So many ships, magnificent ships have been built and innovation, blah, blah, blah. Every single one of them was blown away. And then the last question they would ask me is, how much are you charging? And I would tell them. Now, what we were charging was way more than what we were charging for any other ship in our fleet. And every single one said, that's all. And I'm like, okay, there's something here. Because if these people are saying that to me, we're not charging enough. So I bring in sales, revenue, and marketing, my heads of these divisions. The pricing is built in, I think it was 24 or 48 hours. We were doing our big reveal. We had our systems ready to go. All we had to do was hit the button. And I brought them all in and I said, team, we're not charging enough for this ship. And they looked at me like I was nuts. Head of revenue said, everything's done. We don't have time to change it. I said, but we only have one chance. And we've done the pricing. It's already X amount higher. No one has ever gone X amount higher than a new ship. I've looked at all of our historical data. I've looked at everybody else's data. This is all we can charge. And I said, I think we're leaving money on the table. Head of sales looked at me and said, you're setting us up to fail. Okay, dagger in my heart. Why would I set up these people that I had a tremendous amount of respect and affection for to fail? And our head of marketing, he was new, and he's like, whatever, I don't know, because he had never done this before. Whatever. So I said, here's what we're going to do. And I had to make this decision that my entire leadership team was against. Head of revenue walked out, didn't speak to me for 3 days. Head of sales said, fine, you're the boss. Walked out. And the head of marketing just said, fine, I'll change the starting price in our ads and in all of our materials, because he didn't want to say anything else. And I did that with 100% instinct. And we opened and we continued to raise prices every day. The demand was so high, over and above what I asked them to change the pricing to. And that's just one small example, but sometimes and I attribute that to my experience. And, it took me 30 years to get where I got, but honestly, and I didn't like the fact that it took me so long, but I believe time, I believe the time was right, even though it took a long time, because I learned so much that helped me use my instinct for both that ship design that I completely redesigned after it was ready to go to the yard when I first came into the role, and then how we priced it. So much of that was just based on experience and instinct and just knowing brands and consumers and understanding their psyche. And the algorithms, none of the algorithms would have said that those would have been the right thing to do.